But
yeah. But you give him the profit.
I think the profit.
Like, if you don't give him like you give him the profit, you mean like you counter like the profit with the first 2 pickups? Because they'll ban Spirit Breaker in the next set if they don't pick it now.
Oh no, it just feels like it's LGD's running into the same problems over and over again. I'm not sure.
I remember last time that happened to ROTK.
Dude, this is such a weird situation for Alliance. Like or
Why?
for LGD, I mean, it's like even the first game I thought they had a good chance. I really thought they had a decent chance. And then they got destroyed. Like one fight was all it took. And then the second game, the one that we just saw, there was almost no bright spots for them.
Yeah.
Like maybe just got killed twice solo within the span of 3 minutes by the puck. He just got completely outplayed. ROTK just wasn't getting any levels. When they went for the gank on the puck to try to slow things down for maybe, it ended up with both of them dying. There's nothing went right.
LGD's
and they got to find a way to drag it back. The Gyrocopter and Dazzle, so Sylar gets his hero very early on. They finally take out that Keeper of the Light, so Arca can no longer manipulate the split of the game with that. And the Batrider of S4 finds a way into the ban pool for the second time this series.
This was the first time they picked the Gyrocopter. I kind of like it. I think the Anti-Mage was too passive for their style. It made sense at the time, but it felt like LGD was more interested in fighting. Like they even got a BKB on the AM rather than split pushing.
Gyro seems like a good counter as well to the Nagasaran illusions when they come in. So at least you've got team fight control of your own.
It's just aggression. That's what I like. I'd really like for LGD to pick maybe something that he really likes to play, like the Queen of Pain or the Wind Ranger, and just get into like a tempo-based game.
Alliance's turn to pick.
Alliances.
They take out the Ember Spirit. Interesting. With the SF taken out as well, they're banding out against maybe. So the Queen of Pain you suggested for him is still there, unless S4 wants to take that himself. Could we actually? Can we go back a couple of years in Dota and have the Queen of Pain versus the Puck mid matchups again?
I think you might start to see stuff like that. Although the Queen of Pain, I haven't seen it in a few games actually. It's been.
Well, she's normally been pushed to the off lane.
Yeah, the Puck again. Alliance, they're just running the same stuff over and over again. This is their comfort.
Yeah. Why change what's not broken?
Exactly. You literally just changed one word of that.
Yeah, I did.
Idiom. All right.
Yeah, I did. I do that. I never quite anything correctly. Don't you know that about me?
I see.
Like I destroy everything.
I think the one thing I was told as a broadcaster was don't use popular phrases because you're going to mess them up and people are going to make fun of you.
Yeah. At the same time, there's a lot of things you can say to casters to stop people from making fun of you. I decide to ignore them all.
You do, YouTube.
Lion.
Lion pickup?
Alliance's turn to pick.
I'm a little uncertain about that, primarily because I'm not really feeling his presence in the lane, and it's a little
he does damage.
Greedy.
He does well against the puck too if you can get the Hex off. And the Mana Drain does well against Naga. You just kill illusions as a support.
The concerning thing is if like this is like a Naga Siren on the off lane, and then Undying comes down with the +1, then the Lion's in a world of hurt.
I guess. But MMY Lion, I think that one game we saw me had like a 9-minute blink dagger with boots.
Yeah, how did he get? I still never knew how he got that.
I was gonna watch the replay just for that.
Just to find out where he got it from.
Yeah, but I have zero idea.
Thanks for reminding me. We'll go check it out. Oh.
Will you though, Toby?
Yeah, actually I do.
Will you?
I've actually started watching a lot more replays of late.
Dang, get on that grind, dude.
Hey, I told you I'm trying to learn.
It's good. It's good. We'll play a lot of Dota once this is over.
Yeah, I'm already planning on streaming later.
Yeah,
later today.
After I sleep for 50 hours, I'm gonna play. I'm gonna grind.
I don't need to sleep. I had 9 hours last night. I'm great. So guys, if you want to check out my stream, I'm streaming later today.
Shameless plug.
I know. Well, hello. Admiral Bulldog Slaughter gets to arrive on the field.
Okay, never mind. I just figured stuff out in my brain.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. Ignore that.
It's like someone who tells an inside joke. Or someone that says, you know what, there's something really funny. Ah, nah, never mind.
It's... okay. Yeah, that's the thing.
Right. LGT, give us a pick. Give us a wave.
10 seconds remaining.
So we need to get 2 last calls out. You're up against the Slaughter. That's a lot of control. A lot of negative armor as well between the Slaughter as well as the Naga.
Reserve time.
So they really need to have some tanky heroes. Is this when you try and get like the DK for yourself? Like we saw S4 played earlier today. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't the DK, like the animation of Breathe Fire is actually quite hard to dodge with the phase shift? Oh no, that was with the earlier phase shift though.
Yeah, it does look. It still does look
phase
kind of
shift.
weird because it sort of like fans out. But oh, good pick, Toby. Good job. Very proud. It is good against the puck though because of the stun. The range on it is quite high. When you have Dragon Form, it's impossible to dodge. It's not something. It's not a projectile. It's either you dodge it or you don't. And it's got higher armor. Won't die to the Slardar too easily.
Yeah. Good way to counter it all. Nice range damage to get rid of that tombstone. Yeah, it's all good. So LGD just then need one offlaner to wrap up their lineup. They can get away with dual lanes though because they're running the Dazzle. So that does give a couple more options for ROTK.
I think it's more that the Dazzle or the Lion helps mid. How often do you see ROTK get help? It seems like he's much more comfortable just being straight up sacked.
True. True, but maybe he does actually need help because ROTK seems to be a bit of the problem as well. Like Alliance just seem to crush him off and Bulldog has more impact in the game than he does.
Oh yeah, by far. Right now ROTK is definitely getting styled on.
Wait, hang on. Is this also one of these games where you could actually run a support Naga?
I don't think you should. You could, I guess. The reset is pretty decent, but...
LGD.
Alright, LGD. They've got one more ban. Who do you ban out here?
Oh, what player are we looking at right now? You're looking at a support, if we assume that. What support's going to screw with you more than any other?
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, A would have been sick against the DK and the Dazzle.
Turn to pick.
Remove the heal.
I'm not sure. Maybe the Disruptor? Maybe a jungler?
Yeah, why not the Chen? But you talk about getting comfort heroes to LGD. Why doesn't Alliance just pick up something more like a Chen? Could you actually get away with Enigma? You get a Naga Siren to help you set up. You get a Puck to help you as well.
That's what I was thinking for like a brief second, and then I realized I was insane.
5 seconds remaining.
What's so insane about the Enigma, man?
It's just crazy.
Have you got something against black holes?
Black hole.
I'll never. Like, at least we had like a Chen versus Enchantress game the other day. Like that was
10
fun.
seconds
Oh yeah, the
remaining.
Dragon Ball Z.
The Satyrs versus Satyrs.
5 seconds
And it's going to be an Alchemist pickup. So
LGD's turn to
Alliance have run both support Alchemist and Naga, but you'd probably lean more to... Actually, no. Would you even do that? This is what we were talking about during the patch notes that Austin and I and a whole bunch of other people did, where we're talking about the new Iron Talon.
Yeah.
And the ability to actually just create real good jungle heroes with that.
Who's doing the patch notes with you guys?
We had Yepsor,
10 seconds
Nahaz,
remaining.
Scant joined us.
5 seconds
Freiburg
remaining.
came in for a short bit with Jacob.
Vegetable gaming.
They literally brought nothing.
Reserve time.
And someone else. I can't remember who the other person was. There was another person. Sebastian. Fucking mad.
Yeah.
He came in and did it.
You guys had some players in there.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping to have. Like initially, I was only just streaming it casually. I thought it'd be like, it'll be a little bit of fun that we could just talk about it, just to help me get my thoughts straight about the patch.
Yeah.
And then it turned into something a lot more than it was meant to be. Like, a lot more than it was meant to be.
Sure, it was just a dandy old time with the boys.
That's what I wanted. That's what I was looking for. And then all of a sudden, it became professional.
You know what I started doing in tournaments, by the way? I started using Webos and Scriff's camera almost exclusively.
Yeah.
And I just like randomly click on stuff.
Yeah.
Because once I realized what they do, it became so much better.
Yeah, they show you everything you need to see.
What they do though at majors and TIs is when one is doing it, the other is actually just like looking around the map to see. So they make sure that they like two people are obsing, but they have one main camera guy.
But it's good when you do that. Like a TI that actually didn't have both the obs working. It was only one at a time.
The major though they had both, so they missed nothing.
Because they were doing picture-in-picture.
Yeah, so once it was the major, I only just looked at their screen. Like, I didn't even bother controlling my camera because they're both, like, 5K players. They know what to look for and stuff.
At the same time, though, for a play-by-play, it's kind of hard for me to walk away from that.
Yeah.
Especially when I also saw a couple of kills coming before they saw them. It's just that extra level of security more than anything else.
I mean, I just check the team fights for myself. Like, I've been just using your camera.
Seriously, guys, like, he's got a beanbag down there. He just sits on the beanbag while I control the camera.
Have I missed anything? No. When it comes to team fights, I'll look. So I don't miss anything.
Yeah, you don't miss. You actually really don't miss anything.
Yeah, it's I back it up with experience. Sure, play the game a lot. This is how me and AUI did it when we first worked our first LAN together. Back when he was on like Dignitas. That was when he was actually casting and stuff.
What was your first LAN?
It was it wasn't actually a LAN. It was the first event that I worked. It was Alienware Cup. If you remember that.
I remember that one. That was the one where they flew Bruno and James over to the the BTS house.
I still don't know why they did that. I don't remember Bruno or James working very much.
Well, James doesn't work at all.
It was pretty funny.
That's just James. Oh, Lion's actually... No, not again. Just had a flashback to the moment where Loda fed him, didn't feed himself, like just walked into the middle of the fight. So as far as the heroes go, we probably should have talked about that. Loda is the man taking the Alchemist. He's going to play the middle and give S4 reign of the top lane. Puts RK as well as Admiral Bulldog on the off lane, and EGM is going to be running that Naga support.
Yeah, I think this is something that you have to do when you take the Alch. It's pretty good against the DK mid. It's one of the matchups where you just don't... You can actually trade pretty evenly. Because most of the time what ends up happening is Alch doesn't trade that evenly. It's closer to like 50-50. And you're staying barely ahead just because of the passive gold lead.
Oh, RTK. Enjoy this lane, man. Like, he's got 5 armor normally, but when EGM just walks in, just adds a -2 to the mark.
Jerry. What are you supposed to do against this? It costs him like no mana to use Riptide level 1. It costs 80 mana, and it's so annoying.
What's RT like? Wait, you get a void back, then you got no mana left.
Yeah, he doesn't care. That's a 5 armor Naga as well.
Oh. And just sets up for S4.
Yeah, he's just like fucks with me.
And then on bottom lane, okay, so actually I was about to talk about bottom lane, but then I realized just how much of a great time Loda's having in mid. Like, they're both next to each other, but it's the fact that Loda can't get zoned out by maybe. And because this Acid Spray is just so deep, maybe ticks down just that little bit more every single time. Like, at least he can deny up the range creep. And Loda actually only got 1 CS out of that entire wave. So, okay, maybe not the greatest time to look at Loda. I'm sorry, Loda.
You jinxed it.
I know, I did. It's the caster's curse on the player. This gyrocopter is not getting enough space.
Yeah.
Like, with only 4 CS, 2 minutes in, like, this is Sylar. Like, he's the king of farm. At least I might get something. Like, RK as well as DDC. Sorry, RK being chased by MMY as well as DDC. Just throwing him out of the room. And the Naga steals the top rune, so there's no bottle recharge for maybe. Loda's also backing up. He's walking back to actually pass the bottle over. Maybe trying to save the time on that courier movement.
S4 is getting a lot of free farm too. He's got 12 CS all the way up. The gyrocopter is not doing nearly as well. Like, this dual lane is being pretty annoying right now. I like the fact that they decided to dual off lane because, like you said, it keeps both the supports here. And this is not something that you just want to 2-on-2. The Undying is incredibly annoying here, especially against heroes like Lion and Dazzle where they don't have a lot of base HP to begin with.
Admiral Bulldog's trying to force more damage onto Sylar. Because the creep wave aggro wasn't pulled over, the Radiant creep wave, they tried to actually deny pull it.
Yeah. I think the big question mark for me this game is what builds Loda decides to do.
Bulldog? I'm not sure you really want to get yourself into this one.
I think he was just harassing and trading hits.
He's actually not that much peril, is he? Like, I'm thinking like there's no Slider on the lane, so why can Bulldog be as aggressive as he wants to? But then I have to remember, it's an Undying. Like, you've got Soul Rip available if things go like even slightly wrong for Bulldog.
This is like the most annoying lane I think ROTK might have ever played against. He's 2 CS right now, just level 2. Might not even be level 3 by the time it hits night, which makes him sort of pointless for the first night. You want to be at least level 3 for either the 1 level of the Silence or the 2nd level of the Void, which does pump up by quite a bit. Like, it nearly doubles the damage of it.
There's a rotation from LGD. I say a rotation, I should actually use a different word. It's a smoke gank coming from LGD, but MMY is trying to run up the river. So instead of going around, like he's going to be here for the 4-minute rune contest, but there is no contest. It's a double damage rune that they can babysit. RTK is going to end up actually stealing the top rune, so Loader can't get that one. And tries to get aggressive during nighttime, but it's up against an Alchemist. An Alchemist also with a PMS. Like the damage output of the Night Stalker is nowhere near enough.
The DK is getting a lot more farm now though, and MMY, he's here. Loader's on level 6.
With the stun as well. The support's TPing in, however, and Arke arriving on the front lines. MMY takes a lot of damage to attempt that.
Yeah, it's not easy for him to sit in the Acid Cloud. It's a lot easier for the Dragon Knight just because of the amount of armor that he has. Like, now that he has 2 levels of Dragon's Blood, you notice that he's gone 2-1-2, which is fairly uncommon, but because he's against the Alchemid, it doubles the armor per level and the HP regen. No reason not to get it. This might be a little bit unique, though, to this matchup.
DK, thinking about going again.
Loader is level 6 now, though.
MMY is going to have a crack, and yeah, there's your Chemical Rage. Loader's perfectly alright with this. In fact, he sees MMY because of the Observer Ward, so understands where that line's moved off to. And the first Dragon form which you pop will do no damage to that tier 1 tower.
That's okay, though. The kill attempt was good. It was just unlucky because he just happened to hit 6 right then.
Okay, so RTK is managing to get up in the levels. But EGM keeps denying these waves. Like, he's got a double stack, which just denies up most of the creep wave. Yeah, this Night Stalker has 4 CS, and on the flip side, you've got 16 already from Bulldog. The Gyrocopter has been relatively slowed down by all of this aggression that they've been able to put on, whereas S4 has nearly free farm. It's already up to 981 gold, buying the treads on him. The Night Stalker is quite good against the puck, though. It forces the puck to go for the Yule Scepter. Doubt you see any Dagon shenanigans this game. Go for the control instead. Or at least the ability to escape all the time. So overall, it's been a very quiet start to the game. 6 minutes in and still no first blood. But no one's really put themselves into too much peril. Like Silas probably as deep as we've seen any kind of hero so far. And Bulldog, well, they've already got 1 decay out so far with Tombstone committal. Sylar might have a hard time getting out here, and here comes S4. Sylar, if that Shallow Grave, okay, it's going to last long enough. He'll take the stun and the damage from the Dream Calls. He TP's home. But another attempt at a kill. First time was over on Loader, and now on the bottom lane, but both failed.
I easily could have seen that being a kill, but unfortunately, or fortunately for LGD, they were able to defend in, and
there should be a kill on top. EGM's left by himself, and it's a Haste Rune Dragon Knight, who's also got Dragon Form at the moment.
This is still no first blood. He's going to pop the Dragon's Form. Stun is up. EGM should go down for this. He doesn't have the level of the Mirror Edge to escape this, and he's going to go down. Maybe he's going to pressure this tower too. He's going to get the first hit off. Doesn't really care about the damage that the tower's going to do. He just wants to get that poison started to pressure the safe lane.
Just a tricky position for Alliance. Arke didn't have enough money to buy a TP scroll, so he couldn't come back to try and defend his teammate.
I don't think that would have mattered anyways. It looked like he was almost 100% dead.
They're bringing more up. There's a big circle from S4 saying, like, around this area, like, nothing is safe.
Oh, S4's dead too.
They get the Hex to start with too. Like, if he got that orb off with the phase shift, he might have gotten away, but RTK's got the silence, and S4 will end up dying. Not quite sure if the mango consumption was really required, but still, there's 2 kills going the way for LGD, and this is a lot better start for them than they could have than they did have in game 1 and game 2.
I am surprised that S4 was up there, considering he knows that they have high kill potential on him.
He even drew the box.
Yeah, exactly. But it doesn't matter. They were going to lose a tower. Just feeds away a little bit of net worth. The Alchemist has decided to go for the Medallion build. So a lot more aggression.
Oh, when Bulldog hits level 6, and then you got both Medallion as well as that Acid Spray, you just pop in and take for a shot? Or is LGD able to contest that?
LGD should be able to contest with their lineup. I like this lineup the most out of all the LGD lineups that I've seen so far. I feel like there's actual aggression on all 5 cores, whereas in the previous 2 games it felt like it was just a mix all around. Sylar, when he was playing the Juggernaut, was kind of in this weird position where he wanted to fight, but he couldn't initiate on anybody. Maybe he was shut down quite a bit, but this has been a lot more stable for them overall.
S4 is stacking up the camps. At least he hopes he's stacking up the camps. Everything he's done is right, but the problem is there's this observer world that's watching his maneuvers. So LGD learnt from the dire side puck of S4 last time around.
S4's opted not to go for the blink first.
Bulldog's dead. Oh, nope. Maybe can't reach him.
Has the angle.
Triggers his dragon form, but even then, like with the breathe fire and now this rocket barrage, they clean up the creep wave and they should be able to take the tower. Bulldog's in no position to really contest this, and at this point, like what does Alliance even do? Like you're going to TP down, you don't have Song of the Siren, but Loader is going to come at least drop the acid spray. Sailor's already at 1 armor, thanks to the -7 from Bulldog. But they repair most of it with the defensive weave from Dazzle.
Alliance really don't want to give up this other tower, though. It's kind of a slippery slope where you just decide to give up this tower, this tower, this tower, then all of a sudden they've got enough of a net worth lead where your blink daggers come on a little bit too late. You've got to draw the line somewhere. And at the very least, you have to make it difficult for LGD.
It's just a safe position for Roshan, too. Like that's how you bring support in. Now S4's coming in, and they can look to fight, maybe, losing that ultimate of his, but looks like Alliance aren't in any real position to fight. S4 pressured the top lane as much as he could. Now MMY is rotated up there after taking a lot of space in mid. He's got his finger of death available.
He almost has his full blink again.
Already?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can say it's going to be... Okay, yeah, it should be on the same time as it was for Game 2 then, for S4.
Loda, he's got the medallion, like we talked about. It's going to be pretty hard to kill him. But still, MMY is about to get that blink dagger. He's been farming this entire time, and this is going to pretty much hard counter the puck. The puck only has 750 HP. Even if you trade MMY there, like MMY blinks in aggressively, dies immediately after because he's a lion, but if he gets off the combo on S4, it'll all have been worth it. Because that's you're trading a support, a 4-position support for the safe laner for Alliance.
I watched him like a hawk this time around to actually understand how he got it.
Yeah, he just takes up farm wherever his team doesn't need him. He doesn't come to the pushes because he knows he's not necessary.
Yep. Because until he's got that blink dagger, like, he isn't necessary.
Yep.
Like, it's only when Alliance initiate in, and then he can reactive TP to the tier 1 towers and join the rest of his team.
Oh, this is going to be a really rough timing. S4 still doesn't have the blink dagger, but the Dragon Knight just picks up his, and MMY's about to finish his at the same time. I think if you're LGD, you maybe even smoke mid and try to go for the instant pop-off with the Lion.
Problem is, Lion doesn't have mana yet.
Yeah. I think that's the primary deterrent right now. I think if you're maybe, you just don't show the blink dagger, wait for MMY to heal, then you come in, pop them together, guarantee the kill on the puck. Like if S4 dies one more time, slows down the blink dagger, that could be another 3 or 4 minutes. Blinks pretty aggressively for the rune, trying to stay out of the ward vision at the same time.
Is that Solar Crest finally done for Loda?
Yeah, the smoke is dropped. They 100% want to go for the aggression here with the Lion and the DK, the double blink dagger. The mid tower is going to be the most obvious goal. But if Ake can get a really nice tombstone off, and maybe a sleep, they've got the high ground vision.
EGM, they got no idea. They're going to let the cooldown go. Admiral Bulldog should be able to survive through this. He's moving in position for a good crush. S4's got Dream Call available too. And maybe they can get, crush, silence, coil, 3 euros caught. Loader comes in with a double concoction stun. Silas still needs to get a little bit more damage out with a follow-up stun.
Where's the damage from Alliance?
There. Now, finally, LGD pump out their damage. Loader's running himself away. And ROTK still in the middle of this fight. S4, he's got the one charge. He's got the Fairy Fighter also consumed, but he will not do so. Concoction Stun just is not doing enough. The damage, you're right, it just wasn't there from the cause. Maybe goes for more, but with that Shadow Wave damage, Alliance just loses.
Is Bulldog dead too? This was his buyback.
It could be. DDC as well as MMY, there's no real mana to speak of. MMY is hoping for a bit of a drain. He's able to do it over on Bulldog, and maybe with his follow-up stun, it's a dieback from Bulldog. It's 8-1 now for LGD. They'll take the tier 1 tower, and Alliance have hit their first speed bump in the road to the grand final victory, as if they can get there.
It looked so promising, but they just didn't have enough. I felt like they kind of miscoordinated. Loda wasn't really ready. He didn't get the acid spray down in time. They weren't able to burst anybody really important. Like maybe just tank through all of it because of his high armor value. That just made it so difficult for them to do anything. The Grave went on top too. Everybody from LGD is just so goddamn tanky.
It also does display one of the big problems as well of Alliance, where they got no real physical damage.
Yeah.
You can have all the negative armor in the world, but there's no way to inflict the damage. Now DDC, well, he's going to TP out, but he'll die while he does so. And there was more than enough damage to do what he would have just popped from the Dream Call.
Yeah, this is important too. He needs the Blink Dagger as soon as possible, especially against the dual Blink setup for LGD. This is so dangerous right now for this puck. Like, oftentimes you'll see S4 outplay people, but it's just not possible when he's playing against this many stuns and instant silences.
Okay, he's dead. Goodbye bottom lane Undying. He's going to Soul Rip and Decay. Actually, can't get the Decay off in time. DK just pre-fires him down. But LGD moving around the map, ganking superbly, and pushed up a 7k gold advantage. That's up against an Alchemist as well. 15 minutes in, you have that advantage.
Yeah. The net worth lead. The Alk is still second. Yeah, the Alk is still second, though. And that goes to show you how ridiculous this hero is when it comes to just pumping out flat net worth.
And that's the nerfed hero, too. Like, he's still only got the 1 point up in the Grieval's Greed.
Yeah, but it's still kind of a sign of things where you have an Alchemist on your team and you're still kind of getting destroyed in net worth. Your puck does have the Blink Dagger now, though. If you're Alliance, maybe you start to look for things with this item, but at nighttime, it's a little bit tricky. And ROTK can pop the Artificial Night, so even fighting here might be a little bit too dangerous. EGM throws out the net, but the move speed on the Night Stalker is a little bit too fast for them to do anything for it.
What is this set on the Dragon Knight? So I've never seen this dragon form before. The older Drake Blaze of Oblivion. Must be one of the Chinese sets. This looks very cool.
It looks pretty sick. I like the dragon on it. The wings on it are monstrously large. Okay, he's gonna go in.
Song of the Siren though. EGM again. Trying to just stall this up. Loader able to get back now.
Right,
you
I
prep
think you
the
take this
concoction.
fight.
The Acid Spray is down and a nice Dream Call with the Blink Dagger from S4 doing its work. He's the one to get hexed up, but the Finger of Death pops S4. You brought down the Gyrocopter, but the chase is being split up. DDC, his TP out will be successful under the cover of his own Shallow Grave. But now Alliance do find their damage. ROTK still on the run. He's got a TP scroll, so move to the other side of the tree line and we'll get out to safety.
That looked like it was going to be so much worse for LGD. Like, that looked like it was going to be a 3 or 4 man engagement. I think Roshan is the immediate objective here.
Yep.
Loda's got the Solar Crest, and they've got Admiral Bulldog's Amp. This would be huge, especially after the fight that they took in the mid lane. This kind of helps reset things. And this is a lot of negative armor that's going to come up in a second.
Negative 18 on Roshan. But with that, okay, Loda's going to trigger Chemical Rage. Yep. They still need the damage output. Like, they're still heavily missing from them. How do they get that later on? Like, what do you look for? Okay, yeah, you can look for a kill in MMY. That's one of the nice way to do it. But the call down, support's arrived. Remember, you've got to finish Roshan. You can't do fight as well as Roshan. Naga Siren, well, there's at least a couple of illusions to soak up some damage, but Sar's going to finish the job. They're still doing Roshan. The Tombstone's down, so MMY runs in, but okay. Silent MMY, how much have you got here? Can they walk in and take Roshan themselves?
I
Loda
think they
doesn't want to
can.
let this happen.
It's already amped up for them, too. It's quite low. The Tombstone is about to die. Loda's going to miss out on the stun. Good silence from ROTK. The zombies are keeping them at bay, but the Tombstone is about to finish. Once that's down, there's not a whole lot that they can do, but Alliance, they can't afford to give up this Roche.
That's why they're trying to fight and buy time. Naga Siren's coming up in 1 second, but then again, what's he really going to do? S4's got the Dream Call, but Loda's dead. 44 seconds. There's no way Alliance can contest this unless S4 is about to go for some hallelujah play. That's the only way this will happen. But he is sitting on the edge, and no, he's not going to. He's too late even if he does. Silo will get the Aegis Immortal. Roshan taken by the Radiant side. And Alliance's recovery mechanism, aka Death of Roshan, is taken.
Yeah, and they've got the medallion completed on the Dazzle, so that was quite easy for them. On top of the fact that they just walked in and it had a 10th of its health. It just felt like Alliance, you pointed out earlier, they don't really have physical damage dealers to follow up with all of their negative armor. Like, nobody's really hitting for very much. Nobody's hitting very hard either.
And then they split themselves up. They thought they can get a very quick pick-off over on the Lion, but the rest of LGD was right behind him. Like, imagine if they just stayed inside the pit and finished the job.
Yeah. They were just trying to find out. They thought they could do it a little bit faster. Roshan had like negative 18 armor.
Yeah.
I'm sure they thought that was going to go quicker than it did. They were pretty quick too. Like they instantly went into the Roche pit as soon as they won the fight, and it still took them too long. A large part of that is because they weren't able to take down the mid tier 1 or the bottom tier 1 tower. And so LGD were able to respond so quickly. And the ward vision from them is so good too. They see Loda all the way up. They know that nobody's behind him. MMY is here, but where's the backup? And this Lion has actually destroyed the puck. He hasn't been able to do too much.
Yeah, we saw S4 when he initiated underneath that tier 2 tower before.
He just gets blown up. The Hex destroys him.
He's still got his Dream Call off, which was quite impressive for S4. Because he was seen coming in. So the Lion could have potentially got a full Hex off before the Dream Call has effect. But now LGD just group up as 5.
Radiant's
Maybe.
top tower
Not even holding
is
back
under
on this
attack.
Dragon form. Not bad. What a...
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's... that. Okay, yeah,
Dire's
that's really
bottom
sick.
tower has fallen.
I couldn't even have a closer look at it last time. They even find the stack for Alliance. Looks like top lane, MMY. He's actually solo killing up S4. Drains out the mana, so there's no way out. Also gave him just enough to get that Finger of Death off. And Loda just stunned himself up. He's going to get scouted out by Maybe. Maybe's got a Dragon Tail Son of his own. He's got 17 wand charges, but no... He does have a way to follow up.
There's nobody near him, and the Chemical Rage is still halfway on. I think it's incredibly unlikely that he gets the kill. Has the fully completed BKB, and things are starting to spiral out of control right now. MMY is a little bit too huge for support. He's got the Ether Lens completed too, and this is pretty nuts. Like, the range on all of his abilities now makes it almost impossible for S4 to dodge.
I can't believe that range of Finger of Death.
Yeah.
So huge.
It's almost a full
Radiant's
screen
bottom
length.
tower is
There's
under
no way that
attack.
S4 is going to be able to survive this. MMY has 50 CS already as a support.
50 CS, no
Radiant's
deaths,
bottom
7
tower
assists,
is
3
under
kills.
attack.
And almost all of those kills, I think, are on S4. So they're not... Those are pretty big net worth kills.
Alright, Alliance,
Radiant's bottom
there
tower
has
is
to be
under
some
attack.
plan. No, you don't stay in the game just to think, okay, maybe we can get, like, a little bit more fun. Like, there has to be a plan to try and kill off LGD.
I think that plan is kind of passed, and now it's just about recovery. See what you can do.
Well, they're going to try and do something on bottom lane. The blink is up on Bulldog, and that's a good pass to the plan. With the amplification up, they get the silence. Nara TK will die here. The Dream Call proc will actually kill him if he goes too far. But MMY will arrive. Admiral Bulldog actually stranded because S4 jaunted himself away. Very fearful of the influence of MMY, and then he actually orbs himself down and then jaunts away. Man, S4's movement on this puck.
Dire's top tower
So
is
glad
under
he's playing this
attack.
hero again.
Gotta be careful, though. He was just trying to buy time for Bulldog to make sure.
That's still a big kill. Like, they got almost 500 gold apiece for that kill.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Gonna run away. Reset. Gyrocopters mid with the Aegis. LGD would love to use this if they could.
Doesn't have the opportunity just yet. Nice circle will spawn up in a moment, and looks like they are going to use it for the tier 2 tower in mid. They've only got another 50 seconds, or maybe 45 left on that Aegis. So they should be a little bit
Dire's
cautious
middle
about it.
tower is
Yeah.
under attack.
They still have to be careful. Alliance's combination is quite
Bulldog.
good still.
Amplification, they go with the acid spray. There's negative 19 armor currently on Sylar. Bulldog would love just to jump into this, but he knows it's a trap. Like MMY as well as DDCA holding back just far enough that Alliance aren't able to find anything. They're seeing this too. Like, they got the observer walls down. Alliance have all the vision they need to understand what is a good and a bad fight.
Dire's
So 10
middle
more
tower
seconds
is
left for
under
that
attack.
Aegis, and
Dire's structures are fortified.
they just used the DK to get rid of the tier 2. And in fact, there goes your Aegis now.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Radiant's
Down
bottom
she
tower
goes.
is under attack.
DK now with the Hyperstone.
Bulldog. Get the crossover on DDC. So S4's got the follow-up silence. And
This is going to be a free pickoff, or it should be.
MMY gets the stun. DDC's able to get the Shallow Grave off. But you've still got that Dream Call going. You can't just TP out. And actually, they turn 1 into 2. That's LGD turning it 1 into 2, not Alliance.
Bulldog getting 420 gold for the kill on MMY.
They all get so much. Like, even Puck, like, Bulldog overall got 515 out of that fight.
Radiant's
Like
Gonna
that
get this
one,
mid-tower
that one
too.
kill has a 2200 gold swing. And you can make that more now with this tier 1 tower dropping.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
This is slowly starting to help out Alliance, but
Radiant's top tower is under
still have to
attack.
deal with the fact that the 2 cores on LGD are quite huge, and the supports, if they get isolated, obviously they're going to be much easier to kill. But the DK is about to finish the AC. He's like 1800 off or something like that.
That's not too bad against Alliance. It just makes LGD's life a lot easier. But I'm looking at an armlet on the way for Alchemist. That's if... And the only thing which tells me that is this blade of attack he's got currently sitting in his inventory.
Bulldog's going to go for the BKB of his own. I'm not sure what the timing is for Alliance, but LGD, they're going to say it's now for them.
The smoke moved up through the mid. They got a target, and it's Bulldog. That BKB. Okay. MMY wasn't even on my screen when I saw that finger of death come in from the side.
Yeah, that was surprising.
He didn't even break his smoke for that. He just used a finger of death to kill off Admiral Bulldog. He didn't have to break his smoke. So okay, LGD coming for a fight. There's that armlet now done over on the Alchemist. So Loda can have a little bit more presence during this fight. But then you really need to have Slider back. Without the amplification and without Bulldog's stun, they just don't have enough control. And now they're also fighting up against an ever-increasing weave on LGD's cores. So the TP comes back, EGM. Like he can buy a little bit more time with the Song of the Siren. They can keep their racks alive. But he needs them all to group up. MMY is fairly close. And that TP out. Bulldog actually gets the crush. He blinks away out of fear of MMY. But now S4 jumps in. Misses on the Rift, however. But Loda getting hexed up. MMY with a follow-up stun, but they got enough. Alchemist will get the kill. What's a decent amount of gold? 316 for it.
They did lose the tier 3 tower mid, though. And
They did.
LGD didn't even have the Aegis there. So the next high ground attempt they go for, it's pretty much Alliance have to take the fight or they're going to lose racks.
There's just more and more money coming the way of Alliance, which I'm... Like, it's going to give them items where they can potentially like maneuver harder. Like S4's walking around with 4k gold.
Alright, this is another pick off for LGD as they lose ROTK. And things are starting to get a little bit better for Alliance. At one point the gold lead was 10k and it was creeping upwards, but they just took down 2 kills. Not on huge priority targets. Would have really liked to see that on the DK.
But it buys them space more than anything else.
Yeah, and they
Like,
take the tower bottom now too.
You can see the money of EGM. If they're able to get a Radiance up as well, Alliance is starting to get to a point where they're actually getting a lot more split push, a lot more harassment on LGD. So they'll start the fight on, not lower life, because you got the Dazzle. If the Dazzle and the DK won't care. But the split push can be a lot more real. And has S4 bought anything yet? Not yet. 4.8k gold. Is it worth him actually getting a BKB as the puck? Considering all the disables and the damage from MMY, like it's still magical. So
Yeah.
he can't trigger that.
I think it's okay. Then he can actually blink in and get in there. Ags isn't bad too. Or Hex. Hex might be the best option.
He just bought something. It's the orb. It's the ultimate orb.
Yeah, maybe a Lincoln's too. Lincoln's feels a little bit greedy though.
Well, considering he's already sending the orb back, it looks like it is probably going to be a Lincoln Sphere. Didn't also realize that Alliance, because of the kill, they managed to steal the gem from DDC. So a small extra victory. So it is actually going to be the Lincoln Sphere in S4. Give him a little bit more space for reaction time. LGD, however, they're moving over for Roshan. The Observer Ward, yeah, they actually use Cardi to get rid of it.
I don't think that this is doable for LGD. It's kind of scary because there is a Naga on the other team. And the sleep setup is still really strong. I feel like they have to get at least one pick before they can just go for this.
Or at least have that Song of the Siren burned. Well, at this point, they're grouping up to look towards the mid lane anyway. And Alliance start their prep. That Relic is on EGM, and he's just going to send just one illusion down there. Trying to bait that it's real, but MMY, he knows better. An easy mana drain to get rid of it.
LGD still want to play aggressively, though. They've got a lot of the items that they were waiting for. They've got the Aghanims completed on the Night Stalker, the AC on the Dragon Knight. He's almost about to hit the level 3 Dragon form, too. Not a whole lot more items that are going to flood in for them before they decide to get aggressive.
Get a quick pause out from LGD. Not certain what's wrong, but either way, Alliance just bought a smoke. I'm interested to see if they think they can slip down to Roshan, but that catapult is still sitting there. The one that betrayed the Alliance is still just sitting there inside the pit, waiting for them to go in.
So we wait, just discussing what LGD decide to go for next. Oh, they're going to actually say go. Everything looks okay here.
Yeah. For a moment, I just